versus DMT Kamaal, and I don't know much about Kamaal, even myself, outside a couple, I think, in Discords and streams here and there, but they're going against Sandstorm, who's currently on the Priya, and it looks like Kamaal is on the Fate. Oh, and Sandstorm's going crazy with their chakrams. Oh, there's that 3-piece combo. He was practicing at max mode with the chakrams a bit too, and now he's currently playing them here in spring championships, and already has Kamaal down into the orangey red of that first stock. There, recovery.
Right.
Good grief.
Let's see if Kamaal is able to retaliate here, sticking to the orb. Try to catch a landing here. Lots of respect in the neutral. Kamaal is afraid of these chakrams, and Sandstorm knows exactly what it needs to do to take Kamaal's stock off here.
Yeah, and right now Kamaal's trying to do something against that. You're seeing him do that dare weapon starving Sandstorm. They're having that scythe, but Sandstorm is very comfortable with this unarmed gameplay. He's probably gonna go for a neutral light, try to land it, but missed it. Goes back to that chakrams, and Kamaal now almost reading that signature, but then Sandstorm was able to outspace it and get that KO on the Kamaal and make Kamaal go down into that second stock.
Sticking to the chakrams here. Able to get a couple of good hits on the landing. Recovery to get an anti-air started. The Sair to swoop in. He can't really maximize off of that offstage. Still just racking up so much damage. This is almost going to be a full stock lead if Kamaal isn't able to shut the stock down.
I don't think it's going to be a full stock lead right away unless Sandstorm starts doing more damage like that. There you go. Now he's starting to get him in the orange. But, I mean, this comes down to Kamaal getting the stock KO. And I think now once Sandstorm's in that lower red, they're having a rough time getting his KO options. But GC Starlight Cider does land. And Orb Dare misses just by a little bit. And Sandstorm does that 2-piece combo, goes to unfuse chakrams, gets a 2-piece, or tries to land the ground pound, almost KOs himself. But Sandstorm gets the 2-piece again, was fused, and goes for probably a ground pound more than likely, I would assume. Oh, maybe not.
Okay. This is like more fused gameplay in this stock and this game than I've seen from almost all of yesterday. Sandstorm making great use of both modes here on the weapon. Something that Kamaal is going to have to adjust to here as well. 3 stocks to 1, finally able to find that knockout with the sidelight Sair. He has a lot of work left to do though, AJ.
They do, but I mean, they definitely have a chance here of being able to turn things around. I think they're just having a rough time regrouping themselves against the momentum that Sandstorm has with this chakrams, as a lot of these North American players are, which is why I think Sandstorm's kind of playing it to kind of say, hey, here's the state of the weapon, or here's the state of Priya right now, to kind of push that meta a little bit and make it more communicative. But we are seeing Sandstorm play a lot more unfused. I know a lot of players have been talking about the fused version of chakrams being, a little bit more of a disadvantage than an advantage. So they're currently playing the unfused for damage buildup and then using the fused to kind of KO whenever they can.
For sure, yeah, absolutely. And finding a great mix of using both of those modes is, of course, something that's one of the selling points of what's interesting about the weapon. Regardless, Kamaal is going to be able to disarm him of those chakrams, sticking to the orb here. And he wasn't able to find an edge guard there. He wasn't able to find anything where Sandstorm was walking back onto the stage. He was looking for something, but he just couldn't find it. Very unfortunate from Kamaal. Sandstorm is going to take maximal use of this advantage, of course. He gets that stage control, and that's going to lead to an edge guard. D-Light Sair, that's going to be the knockout, and Sandstorm is winning the first game here.
Yeah, Sandstorm is definitely one of these players that is really good at adapting no matter what. They're not sticking with one weapon. They were playing the chakrams to get damage build up, and then to kind of mix things up, they went to that sword towards the end. One thing I do want to bring up though is Kamaal beat Wubs in the winner side of this bracket, who was playing chakrams as well. Who's known for being one of the better chakram players for North America. So Kamaal, I think, definitely has a really good opportunity of beating Sandstorm's chakrams, but definitely has to find like a way to deal with the movement and the momentum that Sandstorm carries with himself.
For sure. And I mean, Kamaal has beaten some great chakram players in the bracket, but he hasn't beaten Sandstorm's chakrams in the bracket yet. So it's definitely going to be a very large challenge still. Sandstorm going to be able to pick up those chakrams. Kamaal sticking to the orb here. How do you feel about Kamaal's options against the chakrams? Do you think he should go with the orb or with the Siphon? What, man, look at that string that Sandstorm was able to hit. He's still going.
he's still going with these strings, and he's going to keep on going while this weapon's unfused. You're seeing Kamaal doing a little bit with the orb, but I don't think they really know a way to counter Sandstorm with that scythe, and that three-piece combo from Sandstorm knocks out Kamaal down to that second stock, but Kamaal did knock Sandstorm into that orange a little bit too, even while that big string was happening with the orb. So now they're going to try a little bit of scythe, but they're going to have to find a way against that movement with that scythe, though, is the problem, because Sandstorm's floaty as heck at the moment.
Yeah, so what I was saying before Sandstorm interrupted me with his flashy gameplay, it looks like he's trying to do it again, but Kamaal is going to be able to punish him this time around. Sideline Seer comes out too. Seer, that's going to finish the stock. So AJ, orb or scythe into the chakrams. What are you feeling right now coming up from Kamaal?
Kamaal has been doing very well with the orb. I think it's what they've been able to do with damage buildup. I think they're just having a rough time KOing. And also dealing with, I mean, I think the movement is the biggest issue for him. I think Kamaal can do the damage. They're just trying to find a way to fit themselves in Sandstorm's movement, but they really can't, because Sandstorm now is able to go and get the signature KO, and Kamaal's already down to that final, right? So it's like,
also,
it's a...
Yeah. Also a little bit jittery, right? I mean, just look at that signature that Sandstorm threw out. Kamaal had a lot of time to react to avoid that signature, but potentially getting a little bit jittery with his movements, trying to play very quickly, which whenever you're against Sandstorm, you gotta play quickly, but it's difficult to play quickly and precisely at the same time.
It is for sure, and right now you're seeing Kamaal get that downlight, misses that signature. Its recovery lands with that scythe. Now back with orb, it's going to go for sidelight side air. Misses that sidelight. Sandstorm knows that's going to happen. Gets that there once. He's going to go for it probably again here once they jump. Oh, but Kamaal gets a two-piece. I mean, Kamaal's starting to do a little bit, but you're definitely right. They are a little bit jittery. They're also pre-firing a lot of things, and both players are, and Sandstorm's been getting the maximization most of the time, but Kamaal gets that sidelight side air, and it's currently in one stock off.
And it's such a difficult situation right now for Kamaal, because like if he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's like, okay, he needs to find a better precision, he needs to slow down. If I slow down, Sandstorm is gonna run me over though, so it's kind of like a lose-lose at this point.
Yeah.
But he's able to get Sandstorm down into orange, and it looks like he's conquering this lose-lose situation right now.
Oh, but they do that recovery, and Sandstorm takes advantage of that recovery range and gets that three-piece string combo with chakrams. And I think Kamaal just did a little bit of a too much of a pre-fire there. I think they were using all their options to get back to that ledge, but Sandstorm realized that they didn't have any more options than just maximize on that. So that's a big deal. If they just did the two jumps to get back to that ledge, except the recovery, they would have been in a better spot. But, I mean, Kamaal came back quite quickly, though. In that second game, but Sandstorm still got that KO.
For sure, and anything is still possible. Kamaal is gonna run it back on this Fate Sandstorm on the Priya, and we're gonna see if Kamaal is going to be able to take this one back. I've gotta say, so far, AJ, the first two games were looking pretty similar.
Yeah, right now, if you're Kamaal, your main goal is to do damage buildup. It looks like they're just a lot more confident now against Sandstorm. Their style has quite changed to a point where I think they have an opportunity of getting this game into their name, but it comes down to how they go about the momentum that Sandstorm usually gives himself, right? With those dodges and everything else. But right now, Sandstorm gets a double dare with the fused chakrams, tries to get the third, tries to be a little bit risky, but Kamaal takes advantage of that, misses that dare due to that dodge from Sandstorm, and currently it's even, but they're able to came back a little bit, but that was due to Sandstorm's being risky off that ledge.
Yet again, second time Kamal is able to get back for free like that. Okay, he's going to be able to pick up the weapon. Sandstorm setting up an edge guard, and that time around, he's not going to be able to take stage control back for free. Sandstorm guarding it very well. He's going to find that knockout. Sandstorm, okay, Kamaal was scared to go for that weapon throw. Sandstorm getting in his head a little bit at this point, I think, AJ.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they realize they're facing one of the most notorious players in the world for Brawlhalla, too. So, you know, this is, I believe, the first time they face each other in bracket. And now we're seeing Sandstorm lock Kamaal in the orange. But Kamaal with the follow-up options, but doesn't KO Sandstorm.
Okay. Oh, that's going to be yet another two-piece. Not going to be the knockout just yet. Tries to go for the signature. I like the idea, but Kamaal is going to see right through it. Tries to go for the Sair. Not going to connect. Ooh. This is such high-risk gameplay right now from Kamaal. Even though he's down on the second stock of red, he knows that he needs to do something big here, because if he keeps playing carefully and he keeps trying to trade in neutral, Sandstorm is going to come out on top here.
Yeah, and that weapon control from Sandstorm with those chakrams makes Kamaal go into that final stock. I mean, just grabbing him and kind of tossing him around like a chew toy at this moment. And now we're seeing Kamaal trying to do something with that scythe. But Sandstorm just goes crazy with those chakrams. Doesn't go crazy off the ceiling, but does knock Kamaal into the yellow. Gets that two-piece there. Nice little clash for both of them. But then the two-piece into a grab, into a two-piece in recovery.
Man.
And then it's just dominating currently. Kamaal gets the double piece. And Sandstorm willing to be risky. Gets that ground pound. And this is the reason why Sandstorm is known for being notorious in Brawlhalla. Does get that 3-0 over Kamaal. Kamaal was actually starting to adapt a little bit. But, I mean, wasn't able to adapt enough to go out and beat Sandstorm in the game here. But definitely did a lot better compared to the first game, though. Kamaal doing very, very well. But Sandstorm, man, look at his chakrams, his overall game.